There is something profoundly strange that happens inside a man's mind, a quiet phenomenon he rarely speaks about, often trying to hide it even from himself. It begins subtly, almost unnoticeable, a whisper of a thought. But then, this thought grows, settling into his mind as an undeniable presence. No matter how busy his day, how much he tries to push it away, it is the persistent thought of one woman. Not women in general, not just any woman, but a specific one. He finds himself replaying a particular moment, a single instance, over and over again. And here's a surprising truth. Most of the time, he doesn't even understand why this specific person has become so deeply embedded in his thoughts. Men don't intentionally try to fall for someone. It's not a planned event, nor can it be forced. Instead, it simply occurs. A seemingly insignificant detail, a shared look, a sudden laugh, or a small unexpected act of kindness can cause a man's mind to momentarily pause. That fleeting moment then loops, becoming a quiet, private obsession he may never openly admit. He tries to convince himself that everything is fine, that it's no big deal, yet the truth remains. Men rarely fixate on many women. When they do become fixated, it is typically on one, and her presence feels as though she lives in a small room within his very chest. He can go about his daily life, working, socializing with friends, scrolling through his phone, but she lingers in the background of his thoughts, constantly waiting. This leads to a crucial question, a point to truly consider throughout this exploration. There's a hidden reason why men become so intensely focused on a single woman, and it has almost nothing to do with romantic love. Most people never discuss this, most men don't grasp it, and most women never anticipate it. However, once you learn and truly see what transpires within a man's mind, you will gain an understanding of male psychology that surpasses what most people ever achieve. I will reveal that profound reason towards the end of this discussion. Every man carries an internal world that he rarely exposes. It's not because he consciously wants to conceal it, but often because he struggles to articulate it. Men experience emotions in a gradual, deep, and understated manner. Their feelings don't impulsively rush to the surface. Instead, they reside deeply, much like groundwater, still, calm, and silent, until something or someone truly connects with it. When a specific woman gently touches that quiet inner place, even by accident, a man feels an irresistible pull. It's not a loud, wild sensation, but rather a soft, internal tug, akin to a gentle knock on a hidden door. He might inwardly ponder, why her? Why now? Why can't I stop thinking about this? Yet none of these questions will be spoken aloud. Men tend to become quiet when something truly significant is at stake for them, reserving their words for matters that don't hold much importance. Her presence does something peculiar to him. It sharpens his awareness, drawing his attention to small moments he would typically overlook. He begins to notice the subtle way she looks when lost in thought, the unassuming things she does when she isn't trying to impress anyone, or how her voice shifts when she's excited, calm, or simply being her authentic self. He observes these details without conscious intent or planning. This is the nature of how men fall, though it differs from popular belief. Men don't fall all at once. They fall in fragments. A specific look, a particular word, a shared moment, a cherished memory. Each tiny piece links together, forming something he finds impossible to disregard. The more he attempts to ignore it, the more powerful this internal pull becomes. What's even more fascinating is that a man isn't drawn to a woman because she is perfect. Instead, he's drawn to her because she awakens a dormant part of himself he had forgotten he possessed, a quiet, soft, and profoundly real aspect of his being. This is merely the beginning of the internal process. The deeper truth, one that very few discuss, comes next. A man does not consciously choose the precise moment he becomes fixated on one woman. It simply occurs, almost as if an internal switch is suddenly flipped in his mind. The ironic aspect is that most men don't even realize it's happening until it's already taken hold. A man encounters numerous women throughout his life, individuals who embody beauty, charm, confidence, and all the qualities often perceived as desirable. Yet, none of these superficial attributes are solely responsible for his deep attachment. Men don't become locked onto a woman merely because of her appearance. Rather, they are drawn in by how she effortlessly makes them feel. It could be the grace in her movements, the unique quality of her voice, or the way she seems to lighten the atmosphere of a room simply by being present. Perhaps it's the sense of comfort he experiences when she is near, the tranquility in her words, or her ability to make him momentarily forget the anxieties of the world. Sometimes it's not even a specific action she performs, but an intrinsic quality she possesses, a soft, warm, natural energy that subtly penetrates his defenses before he's even aware of what's unfolding. Men don't typically fall when they feel a superficial sense of safety. They fall when they truly feel seen, and when a woman perceives him in a way he hasn't felt in years, a perception that feels genuine, uncomplicated, and gentle, his mind intrinsically labels her as distinct, exceptional, rare, a one-of-a-kind. While he might not voice this revelation aloud or even admit it to himself, as men often hesitate to articulate their deepest emotions, he unequivocally feels an internal shift, a spark, a powerful pull. It's a curious phenomenon. A man can easily move on from a woman he likes or finds attractive, but he struggles immensely to walk away from the woman who awakens a part of him he thought had vanished. This isn't a deliberate choice, it's an internal occurrence, and it is at this juncture that his internal narrative truly transforms, because once his mind, even gently, locks onto that particular woman, it begins an unplanned process. It starts to construct an image of her. This is a gentle, hopeful mental picture, one he continuously revisits, even against his will. This image then occupies his thoughts at night and becomes the first memory he recalls upon waking. The real unraveling twist, however, the aspect that explains everything, emerges when we delve deeper into what genuinely triggers this persistent mental image within him. Subtly, almost unconsciously, a woman often emits tiny, soft signals that she isn't even aware of. These aren't planned or forced behaviors, yet to a man, they feel like a crucial key turning within his psyche. For instance, it could be the particular way she smiles when trying to suppress a laugh, or her genuine attentiveness when someone speaks, listening without pretense or performance. It might be the effortless kindness she exhibits, the gentle manner in which she interacts with others, her composure when faced with stress, or her ability to remain calm even when life is anything but tranquil. Alternatively, it could simply be the way she makes him feel lighter, as if he can breathe a little more easily just by being in her vicinity. These signals, though minor in appearance, resonate deeply within a man. They are impactful not because they are flashy or attention-grabbing, but because they feel profoundly real. Men are drawn to authenticity above all else. They possess an innate ability to sense sincerity in someone who isn't striving to impress, and they can feel when a person's energy is genuinely warm, stable, and secure. When a woman inadvertently projects these subtle cues, a man's mind silently recognizes her as exceptional. He may not fully comprehend why or how, and might struggle to articulate it, yet an inner voice compels him. Pay attention, don't forget her, she truly matters. This internal imperative explains why he consistently replays shared moments, why he recalls specific small things she said, and why her voice, her laughter, and her minor quirks remain with him long after she is physically absent. These authentic signals bypass his emotional defenses, penetrate his pride, and bypass the part of him that strives to maintain a tough exterior. They reach the most vulnerable, softest part of him, the place he conceals, protects, and guards above all else. Once these signals resonate within that guarded space, she undeniably becomes the one woman he cannot stop thinking about. While men may not always openly discuss their feelings, they constantly ponder and revisit them internally, a crucial aspect many people fail to grasp. When a specific moment holds significance for a man, he replays it within his mind, much like a recurring scene from a film. This mental playback isn't necessarily a desire to fall more deeply in love, but rather because that moment evoked a rare feeling, one he seldom experiences, misses, and intensely wishes to preserve. He might replay the distinct way she pronounced his name, the fractional second longer she held his gaze, or the unexpected burst of laughter she inspired in him. From an external perspective, these moments might appear minor, yet for him, they are immense, warm, and exceptionally rare. And rare experiences tend to embed themselves deeply within a man's consciousness. Men are drawn not to grand, dramatic memories, but to quiet, unassuming ones. A simple shared walk, a gentle smile, an honest conversation that felt secure, a brief instant that radiated peace. These small, intimate memories become his solace when he's alone, exhausted, or reluctant to confront the world. They offer comfort, hope, and a tranquility he infrequently encounters. Here lies a frequently unheard insight. Men don't replay these moments in an effort to decipher her. Instead, they replay them to better understand themselves. He questions why he felt something profound in that interaction, what dormant part of him she awakened, and why he so intensely desires to see her again. His preoccupation isn't an obsession with her as an entity, but rather an obsession with the version of himself he felt when he was in her presence, a softer, happier, more emotionally accessible self. This is the kind of man he yearns to be daily, yet seldom has the opportunity to experience. Once he gets even a fleeting taste of that profound feeling, he finds it impossible to shake. This is precisely how one woman, without any deliberate effort, becomes the focal point of his thoughts. The underlying reason he maintains such loyalty to these thoughts, however, runs even deeper. When a man's mind is continuously occupied by thoughts of one woman, it's common to attribute it to conventional notions of love, desire, or some grand romantic ideal. Yet, more often than not, the true reason is far simpler and profoundly deeper. A man maintains loyalty to her in his thoughts because she accessed a part of him that remains closed off to most people. Men are not quick to reveal their inner world, their hopes, their fears, their vulnerabilities, to just anyone. Therefore, when a woman subtly, gently, and genuinely breaches his emotional defenses, his mind accords her significant importance, even if they are not romantically involved, even if there's no active development between them, and even if he consciously attempts to move on, an intrinsic part of him nonetheless clings to her. This is because, to him, she isn't merely another individual. She is that rare person who instilled a sense of safety without ever demanding perfection. Men exhibit loyalty to peace, to softness, and to the singular individual who brings steadiness to their heart. The essence isn't what she provides, but rather what she awakens within him. And when a man experiences genuine tranquility in someone's presence, his mind doesn't easily release her. He might endeavor to distract himself, keep busy, or even rationalize that she is unattainable, yet his thoughts persistently gravitate back to her. She becomes an internal sanctuary, a comfort he hadn't realized he needed until her arrival. The truly surprising aspect is this: a man can remain deeply loyal to a woman even when she isn't romantically involved with him, even when he understands nothing will ever materialize between them, and even when she remains entirely unaware of the profound impact she has had on his life. His loyalty stems from this profound internal feeling, not from the external situation, and that feeling persists as long as she is tied to the softest part of him. However, there is also an unspoken fear that he carries, a quiet apprehension he never articulates, and this very fear paradoxically reinforces her enduring presence in his mind. Although men often project an outward appearance of strength, calmness, steadiness, and control, they internally harbor a profound fear they rarely articulate, a quiet, deep apprehension directly linked to why a particular woman remains so prominent in their thoughts. This fear is essentially the fear of being profoundly misunderstood. From a young age, most men are taught to suppress their authentic feelings, not because they lack emotions, but because they quickly learn that expressing vulnerability isn't encouraged. Be strong, don't cry, man up. Consequently, they construct formidable internal barriers, locking away their true selves and guarding these emotions with immense effort. However, then one woman enters their life, creating a sense of safety that is paradoxically terrifying. She makes him feel secure enough to relax, to cautiously open up, and to be genuinely honest, if only for a brief, simple moment. And it's in this tender, delicate instant that a man's mind poses the chilling question: what if she truly sees the real me and then walks away? This is the unspoken fear he carries, the fear of losing the one person who made him feel something truly good after a prolonged period of emotional numbness. He dreads being vulnerable and gentle with her, only to be forgotten. He fears allowing her to deeply matter, only to then have to pretend that she didn't. This deeply ingrained fear exerts a powerful influence on his mind. It magnifies every moment shared with her, making it feel far more significant than it might have objectively been. It causes every memory of her to shine brighter, distinguishing her from everyone else. This is because she wasn't merely a woman he liked. She was the woman who reached and touched the most concealed part of him, the part he shields from the world, protects, guards, and almost never shares. And this potent fear of losing something so rare, so soft, so safe, ensures that she continues to reside vividly in his thoughts long after any physical interaction has ceased. Yet, there is a truth even more profound than fear, a truth that fundamentally alters a man's trajectory and renders one woman utterly unforgettable, even when he consciously tries to erase her from his memory. In every man's life, there arrives a unique moment when another person reveals to him a previously unknown version of himself. This transformation isn't achieved through teaching, correcting, or pushing him, but rather simply by being an individual who, without conscious effort, brings forth the very best within him. This is precisely why one woman can alter the entire course of a man's life without uttering a single directive word. In her presence, he experiences a profound sense of calm, a lightness of being, and feels more aligned with the man he aspires to be. This feeling is exceptionally powerful. Its impact is independent of how fleeting the encounter might have been, whether they barely knew each other or even if they have since grown apart. Once she ignites that better version of himself, his mind finds it impossible to let her go, not simply because he misses her, but because he intensely misses who he was when he was with her. A man spends his life avoiding many things: stress, pain, immense pressure, and judgment. However, there is one thing he will relentlessly pursue forever: the profound sensation of continually becoming a better man. If she was the one who illuminated that particular spark within him, she inevitably transforms into a powerful symbol of everything he aspires to become and grow into. This explains why she occupies his thoughts during lonely nights, why he contemplates how his life might have unfolded had he remained connected to her, and why her memory evokes a consistent warmth whenever it resurfaces. She symbolizes a pivotal turning point, a moment of profound clarity, a refreshing breath of fresh air in a world that often feels burdensome. In quiet moments of reflection, he silently questions, why her? What was it about her that changed something fundamental within me? What did she draw from my heart that no one else could access? Yet, the complete true answer eludes him for now, because the real reason extends beyond mere emotion, deeper than memory, and more profound than simple desire. It is an often unspoken truth about men, and this truth holds the ultimate key to understanding why she endures so long in his mind. Now, let's unveil the truth that most people overlook, the ultimate explanation for everything. A man doesn't incessantly think about one particular woman because she was flawless, or because she performed something dramatic, or because he idealized her on a pedestal. Instead, she remains in his thoughts because she revealed to him a feeling he was entirely unaware he was lacking. She gently opened an internal door he didn't even realize existed, a doorway to peace, to profound comfort, to a tender inner space where he no longer felt compelled to pretend or to maintain an act. Once that door swings open, a man finds it impossible to fully close again. This permanence isn't about her as an individual, but about the profound emotional experience he gained while she was near. Here is the crucial twist. His attachment isn't truly to the woman herself, but rather to the version of himself that she unlocked. This is the version who laughs with greater ease, breathes more deeply, feels lighter in spirit, trusts more readily, holds more hope, and ultimately lives more fully. He isn't pursuing her, he is, in essence, pursuing the powerful sensation of becoming someone he genuinely likes being. This feeling is rare, delicate, and not easily found. She wasn't magical, nor was she perfect, nor was she some unattainable dream. She was, quite simply, the one person who made him feel secure enough to be truly, authentically real. And genuine emotional reality is something men guard more fiercely than anything else. So, when a woman touches that profound inner reality, even for a single moment, she leaves an indelible mark he cannot erase. It wasn't her outward appearance, nor her specific words, nor the exact moment itself. It was what that moment profoundly revealed to him about himself. It showed him that he still possessed a soft heart, that he was still capable of deep connection, and that he could still feel something profoundly warm, human, and meaningful. This is what he holds on to. This is why she continues to reside vividly in his mind. This is why she distinguishes herself so uniquely from everyone else. So, here is the ultimate truth I promised you from the very beginning. The profound insight concealed behind every memory, every repeatedly replayed moment, and every quiet thought he simply cannot escape. A man doesn't remain fixated on one woman merely because she was the one that got away. Rather, he stays emotionally tethered to her because she was the person who awakened a dormant part of himself he genuinely believed he had lost. This was the part capable of feeling deeply, of truly trusting, of holding genuine hope, and of opening up without debilitating fear. She didn't necessarily fix him, nor did she save him, nor did she literally pull him out of some personal darkness. Instead, she simply illuminated the fact that he still possessed an inner light. And when a man catches even a fleeting glimpse of his own intrinsic light, he unequivocally never forgets the person who facilitated that profound realization. This is the enduring reason she occupies his thoughts, why he carries her memory deep within his chest, and why, while he can move forward in the practicalities of life, he can never truly move on from her in his mind. She represents a pivotal moment, the moment he vividly remembered the kind of man he truly aspires to be. The gentler man, the more open man, the peaceful man, the authentically real man. And that awakened version of himself is something he ardently hopes to encounter again, whether with her or, if circumstances dictate, without her. For here lies the absolute truth, the final twist in this entire narrative. It was never, at its core, truly about the woman. It was always, fundamentally, about the significant part of himself that she helped him rediscover and find. This is precisely why the mere thought of her feels so potent, so deep, and utterly impossible to erase from his memory. She acted as a mirror, reflecting a hidden side of him he hadn't known was still vibrantly alive. But now he knows, and that newfound self-awareness changes him irrevocably. Therefore, if you ever find yourself pondering why a man cannot cease thinking about a single woman, understand that it's not because she was perfect, or because he is emotionally weak, or because he is merely stuck. It is because she tenderly touched the most protected place within him, and in doing so, awakened a precious version of himself that he never wants to lose again. That, without conscious effort or grand design, is the profound and lasting power one woman can hold.